Welcome back, boys and girls, to another episode of Kayfabe Comparisons. My name is Mr. Know-It-All, Daniel John Schaefer, and I am joined once again by Mr. Wex Breaking the Lawson. Wex, how we living today?
Hey, we're living pretty good. We're going to be living even better if the Titans can pull off that victory tonight against the goddamn Buffalo Bills. But we're going to be living good regardless because this great interview we're about to do here in just a second.
I am so hype. But before we blow our load, so to say, let's go ahead and cover those predictions that we put up last week. I think there was only one that we disagreed on, right?
Yes, and I got the victory for the second week in a row because I predicted for the Inner Circle to lose, and they did lose.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's the one we missed. Yep. All right. Well, you are now the predictions champion. I'm sad to see it go, but you know what? I'm coming back out for it. I'm coming for that ass. I'm gonna get that title again. Don't you worry about it.
Hey, that's 2 weeks in a row so far, but
well, no, I won last week. Last
week. Okay.
We're 50-50 booking here. That's what's happening. We're going back and forth. Okay.
But, all right, I'm off a little bit, but I'll get back on track.
We got a lot of really, really good feedback. Last week we covered GCW. It was the first time ever on the show. So hype, so glad to have the new listens here. Welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you guys here. Love the feedback that you guys have given us on Twitter too. The show is just growing and we are here for it. So without further ado, I want to bring out the main event here. The first ever repeat guest on the Indie Spotlight, the first ever two-timer here, the man that deserves no introduction, the suplex assassin, Mr. Alex Kane. Welcome back to the show, bro. How you doing?
What's up, dudes? How's it going, man? I'm excited again to be here. The first two-timer, you know.
Yeah,
I can put that on my resume now.
There you go. I love it.
Put it on my resume.
I love it. If we help get you bookings, we'll just take a small fee. No big deal.
Very prestigious.
Very prestigious indeed. So it's been almost a year since you've been on the show.
Yeah.
And the last time you were on the show, I think we had one of the last questions we asked you was, if you could go anywhere right now, if you could go to NXT, if you could go to AEW, if you could go, even straight to the main roster on WWE, where would you want to go? And you pulled the name out of the hat, MLW. And now look at you, dude. You are the shining star of MLW. We love it, bro. So walk us through that process. What was that like? I mean, you were on the show. Were you all right? Don't kayfabe me now. Were you already talking to Court? Was that one of those things?
No. I was not talking to Court. I had a few people tag MLW on posts of mine and stuff like that. Yo, we need this guy.
Yeah.
But I wasn't talking to anybody. I think around, was it May? Yeah, around May sometime. I just randomly checked my booking email or whatever just to see if somebody. Sure. I was starting to build up some steam or whatever, so see if anybody wanted to book me. And I saw an email from Jared St. Laurent, and I was like, whoa. Who is this guy? And it said hey, you ever interested in working for MLW? And I was like, this has got to be a joke. Somebody's pranking me right now. Somebody is pranking me right now. But I was like, you know what? If it's a prank, I'm not gonna give them any pertinent information.
No, did you no sell it? Did you no sell it?
No. I didn't no sell it. I was like, I'm not giving any pertinent information. I was gonna be like, hell yeah. So I did, and the next day he emailed me back. He was like, hey, we can talk or whatever. So we talked about it. We negotiated everything that needed to be negotiated. And then I had to sit on that shit until the fucking the open draft, and then nice. I didn't I think I found out around April or whatever, when I was gonna actually be drafted or whatever.
That's dope, man.
And then we did the little interview that played during the draft. I was so nervous. I was so fucking nervous. I was sweating so hard in that damn suit. But it was fun. And even when it aired and whatever, because I played it on the TV.
Yeah.
I put it from YouTube on TV. And I already knew what was gonna happen, but even when I saw it, I was like, let's go!
Yeah, dude. We're all hyped. That's
so I had that reaction.
We were all happy to see it. I know I watched it on YouTube for sure. I was super pumped for you. I think I tweeted out something about it. But man, dude, it's crazy that you literally spoke and manifested like where you wanted to go. And like, let's be honest too. From a year ago, like MLW has also been on the come up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like the MLW is a different MLW now than they were when we talked about it a year ago. But even in that like in that world. I mean, you know, you had gone from being like this indie darling, and I think you said it yourself. You've been wrestling, what, 3 years now?
Yeah, 3 years now.
That's insanity, dude. Like, you might be one of the fastest rising stars, especially in this, like, kind of era of pro wrestling. And you deserve it, bro. The fact that you just kind of spoke that into existence. So, look, this is what I got to ask you, though, right? So, you finally make it to MLW. This is the place that you wanted to go. You've been working the indies. You've been busting your ass. You've been taking all the bookings through the pandemic, doing your thing. How different was it going to that first Fusion taping from the other indies and the other kind of like even the higher end indies that you've done? Is it night and day? Is it kind of similar? Like, walk us through that.
As far as like the locker room and stuff goes, it kind of feels like the indies. As far as like there's no like it's like lower level indies is like people have like a bunch of fucking egos and it's weird as fuck because a lot of the guys haven't done anything, so I don't know why they have egos. But like high level indies, at least the ones that I've been on. Everybody's just trying to have the best show possible. Yeah. Everybody's trying to like give you free game or whatever, how to make your match better, all these things like that. So that's kind of how it was. Like I was able to ask people questions or whatever, get good feedback, sit, you know, chill, hang out. It was literally like I think in the interview like Alicia was like, "Welcome to the family," and like they weren't lying. Like it is like a family back there.
Love it. I love
it. The biggest difference is like the budget and the production. As far as like putting like promos and stuff together, putting segments and stuff together. Like gorilla, there's actually a gorilla position. It's oh, go to the curtain, that's gorilla. No, it's actually gorilla. Like and you actually get like cues and stuff. Agents, having an agent is like is a godsend.
Is it helpful?
Like it's a lot. It's very, very helpful, especially if you get an agent that gives a damn. Because some agents go in there and they're just like, whatever. But some agents are like, yeah, they're like excited about it. Because like when I first started, like when I was at like Pro South and stuff in Alabama, like they'd be like, "Oh, you got an agent for your match?" I'm like, "What do you mean I have an agent? I know how to wrestle a match." Yeah. But like now it's like, yo, do I have an agent? Yeah. Hell yeah, this makes it so much easier. Because like, when it comes to putting together a match, sometimes it's like I'm really generous. Like so I'll be wanting to give people like a bunch of shit or whatever. Because like me, I like to be when I'm wrestling somebody small. Whether I'm wrestling somebody smaller than me, bigger than me, or whatever, I like to be put in danger because I feel like that just makes the especially if I'm going over, I want to be put in danger. So it makes it look like, oh, this guy might not win.
Right.
But with my MLW debut, it was like, no, we want you to murder this man.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So it was good that I had an agent there or whatever. So the agent's like, no, you're not getting. All we need you to do is sell. That's all we need you to do. Alex, what do you want to do?
I love it.
Dude, well, I think that's pretty fucking sick that MLW has that family vibe and like. Once you kind of got accumulated to the roster, I guess once you got acclimated to the roster, I don't know what the hell I just said there. Once you got acclimated to the roster there, like who's the first guy that you were like, that's somebody I really want to go against, I really want to face? Like who was that one person?
I
that you haven't already faced? Because I know sometimes you kind of, if you're working a bunch of different places, you kind of bump up against a lot of different talent.
As far as like me wanting to work, like Vol.2 is definitely somebody I want to wrestle one-on-one. Yes. We like a few months ago we were in like a fatal 4-way, which is still fun. We got to touch a little bit, but not too much. But it was still cool. I wrestle Hammerstone on Friday, and that's like a match that everybody since I started like
it's gonna be sick.
Since I started coming up, everybody's wanted to see, and like I kind of after like watching some of Hammerstone stuff, I'm like, oh, y'all want to see it because y'all want to see me get tossed like I toss people. Cool. I'm gonna fuck them up. It's okay.
I love it.
I already have ideas turning.
I love
it. And they're and all those ideas aren't even suplexes. Just
okay.
Little shit I want to do. And I said I was wrestling Josh Alexander next month, and he gonna quote tweet and say, "If you make it through me," and like I wanted to get on Twitter and just be like, "Yo, look, bitch, I'm definitely gonna make it through." That's why I'm talking about how I'm gonna wrestle Josh Alexander next week. You think you the first big dude that I done went up against? Like, okay, you at Hammerstone, that's cool, great, and awesome, dog. But you still get your shit rocked.
Oh, dude,
Dude, I love it, dude. I fucking love it, dude.
I love the vibe for sure.
I don't care how many muscles you got. I don't think you can't get knocked out.
I want to go back and talk about agents just for one quick second. I'm glad you brought that up. So you went to MLW. Having the agents was a big thing for you, right? So who was the agent that was like, oh my God, like agents are actually worth a shit? Like who was that person?
Davari. Davari. Like Muhammad Hassan Davari.
Yeah, the original Davari. Yeah,
the
OG.
Original Davari. OG. Yeah, he was fire. He was really. I mean, of course, he was super knowledgeable, but like he was really patient too. And he was also offering ideas and stuff. That was fire.
I love it, man. I love it. Wex, what else you got for him, man?
So, we have like the little forbidden door thing going on in wrestling. And, we got some MLW talents that also, I guess, now are signed to AEW with Lee Moriarty and Bobby Fish kind of going both ways. Yep. Do you ever see yourself possibly in the future popping up at any other promotion? Doesn't even have to be AEW, maybe like a GCW or something?
Probably not. So, contrary to popular belief, Bobby Fish and Lee Moriarty were not signed to MLW.
Oh, just kind of like a one-off thing?
I got you. Okay.
That's not from the office or anything like that. That's because like when I signed or whatever, in my contract it was like you can't work here, or here, which makes sense.
Right.
So I think they just brought them in to do some shit or whatever, which is smart as fuck. See, the thing I don't think a lot of people understand, Corey's a fucking genius.
Oh, of course.
That man is genius. And, so like, yeah, he brought them in to do some dates or whatever. It ups the profile of MLW, and then it also MLW's like for guys that aren't signing or whatever, kind of feels like it's a launching pad.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Hey, it must mean something because WWE helped nix a streaming deal through Fox that MLW was trying to get. So they're definitely doing something right if WWE's worried about it enough to nix a deal.
Oh yeah.
Okay, see that's the funny thing too. I'm glad you brought up WWE because I have actually heard that with NXT now being 2.0, Vince had his hand in it. NXT is not viewed as developmental any longer, right? So like there have been a lot of talks about, especially Brucey back in the back is pushing to have MLW kind of be the new farm for WWE. Is there any truth at all to that rumor?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Court being the businessman that he is, it would have to be something that truly benefits both parties and not just benefits one. Because just because you're connected to WWE doesn't mean it's benefiting you.
Absolutely.
Look at all the damn.
Yeah.
That's like prime example.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think anything's really going to come of that. And like to say something to the whole developmental thing, I think Vince having a hand in NXT now, because like I think when Triple H and Shawn were running it or whatever, they changed it from being developmental to being like a third brand.
Yes.
Now that Vince has his hand in it, now because Vince wanted with NXT to be was developmental. So now with NXT 2.0, it's now going to be developmental.
Yeah.
Instead of the other way around.
We're essentially watching FCW. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even watch. I really like. If I do catch it, it's because Ben Buchanan's on there because he's a buddy of mine.
That's Bull Buchanan's son, right?
Yeah. Or
That's
I think it's like JC Lane or whatever. Like if my friends are like people like I've met on the independents are on there, I'll watch it. But other than that, I'm not really fucking with it.
Yeah, I love Swerve. Shout out to Swerve. I think he's doing a great job. I think the Hit Row thing is probably one of the best things on NXT.
They just got called up to the main roster.
Yeah,
so
thank God. I was about to say, thank God.
I just hope with them being on the main roster, like they're still able to be them, and it's not like, oh, we're gonna come.
Yeah, I agree.
The main roster version, the watered down version.
Because like I feel like at first I wasn't a fan of Karrion Kross, like not a huge fan of Karrion Kross. But like the more like I would kind of like watch some of his matches and kind of seen how he's been treated or whatever, like I kind of sympathize with him a little bit because it's
Yeah.
like Triple H brings you in to be this like monster or whatever, and not. I mean, he's still a big fucking dude, but he's not like a big fucking like main roster dude.
Right.
Because everybody in WWE or whatever for the most part is pretty fucking big. At least that's what I gathered from like doing like extra stuff for them back in the day.
Yeah.
I say back in the day like I'm old and I'm not. But like they bring him in with this girl, he has this dope entrance, he has all these things or whatever, and then Vince takes these things away from him, puts him on the main roster, and still won't let him have these things. And it's like if he doesn't have those things, that takes away from what the character is supposed to be.
Right.
Because you can still let him have those things and then further develop his character, not take these things away and then try to develop him with that. Because they try to give it back, it might not work.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. Speaking of taking things away and adding them, we can't not talk about King Mo, right? We can't not talk about that situation. When was the first time you guys got together? What was he like the first time you met him? How is he now? Mentor, coach, friend, all the above?
King Mo's like the uncle I always wanted to have. Like he's like
love it.
he's very endearing. He's always trying to always giving me little bits of knowledge and stuff like that. Always trying to show me new moves, new transitions and stuff like that. And like we really do play off of each other. Like out there on screen. Like it's not like, oh, he gave them this script or whatever and like they're doing this. Like no, this is like our ideas coming to fruition.
Love that.
Or whatever. The chemistry is like I kind of felt like we were gonna have some chemistry, but like I didn't know we were gonna be like this, like congealed.
No, it
right
fits,
off
bro.
the bat.
It fits so good. Yeah, it's so good. Wax, what you got for him?
So yeah, and you're talking about him like kind of helping you out with like matches and like moves and shit. That ripcord angle slam or Olympic slam that you pulled off, I thought that was sick. I really liked the innovation. Dope. Did he possibly help you with that, or was that all up in your own brain? Was that just?
Yeah, it was all me. It was all me. I came up with that in like my first year or beginning of my second year because I needed something that I could do to everybody. You know, it was like an ankle slam, but like I don't want to just do an angle slam or whatever. Like, this guy's just trying to be Kurt Angle. We put a ripcord on it.
Okada angle.
Yeah, Okada angle.
The best of both worlds.
I love it.
The Kane Maker.
I love it.
It's sick. I thought it was super sick when I saw it because you only have a few people that do the ripcord moves, and I just thought it transitioned perfectly.
Yeah.
I was talking to Davey Richards after the last taping or whatever, and he literally like I was asking for like critiques or anything like I could do better, and the only thing he literally said was the two things he said was actually three. He said he liked my match, which is great because I've been wanting that from him, and I'm not mark or not, I don't give a fuck. I wanted that.
Yeah, of course.
He said he liked how I work. And then he said the only thing that he would do is like instead of like pulling into like jumping into it, kind of like being more aggressive with it.
Ooh, yeah.
Kind of like Lesnar
really
with like he used to do the F5, like really aggressive. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, I can like picture that in my head now, and it just sounds like feels vicious and looks awesome in my mind. So yeah, that's awesome, dude. So. Man, okay, so we talked about King Mo, we talked about MLW. If there's one guy in MLW, if Court comes to you and he's like, dude, you know what, you're our guy. You can pick anybody on this roster, and I'm going to give you 3 months, 90-day long feud with him. Like 3 months, like a big long storyline. Who's the guy on MLW roster right now that you'd pick to face?
Ooh, I'm a heel, bro.
Oh, heel babyface be damned. If you want to get like in the ring, have a good story, you're going to tell good stories in the match. Bell to bell, who's the guy that you could wrestle for 3 months straight and not get boring?
Oh, fuck. I don't. Probably either Tom Lawler or Davey Richards, I think.
I love
there's so much. There's so much to learn.
But I think Lawler is like, oof, that'd be so good. You got style too, like would just be insane. Yeah,
it was funny. Like I think like 3 months before I even signed with MLW, I got to wrestle Tom Lawler at Paradigm.
Oh, nice!
And that was huge for me.
Was that the UFWI rules?
Yeah, UWFI
Or
rules.
UFWI, yeah. Those matches were sick.
Yeah, and that match was fire. Like we had really good chemistry there. So if I got to have he's like, well, I remember we were putting the match together. He's like, I don't know pro wrestling or whatever. I'm like, I mean, okay. It kind of worried me for a second. But then we've actually got put together and we were doing it. And I'm like, this motherfucker's acting like he's saying he knows pro wrestling, but he's so damn good at it. Fuck this guy. He's really, really fucking good. So yeah, definitely Tom.
I love that, man.
All right, well, everyone knows you as a singles wrestler, but a lot of people don't know. You got a tag team partner, and you got a big match coming up in Nashville this weekend, if I'm correct, on Saturday.
Yes. Me and Damian Tangra, Suplex Science, are going to beat the shit out of members only.
Ooh, I love that.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll be right there. I'll be right there at ringside for that one.
We will be dog walking them. they like to run their mouths just a little too much. A little too much.
Any chance at all? All right, give me a percentage chance. What's the chance that we could possibly see that tag team in MLW?
I don't have a percentage for that one.
That's fair. I'll get you out of that shitty question here pretty quick. Hey, how about, all right, so I know we talked about on the when you sign with MLW, you can't work for this company, and this company. Or how about international companies? Is there any opportunity for you to possibly go to Japan, maybe Mexico?
Yeah, so they have connections in Mexico and Japan. Awesome. That's one of the things I asked about, like how would I be able to utilize the office to get to those places. I think I'm gonna have to wait till like things like really, really open up. But I just got my passport, so whenever those doors are open, I'm going as quickly as possible.
Which companies exactly are they affiliated with in Japan? Do you know?
I do not know.
Oh, because I mean, there's tons of different promotions. So
yeah, but either way, I mean, a lot of those guys over in the Japanese side of things, they kind of like intermingle with different companies and stuff. So, I mean, it'll be really interesting to watch that and how you grow from there. On this show, we've kind of switched up the format a little bit and talked a little bit more about AEW. And obviously, they are the talk of the town. Did you watch All Out? Did you see the crazy pay-per-view? And what were your thoughts on the quote-unquote possibly greatest pay-per-view of all time?
No, I didn't. I have, and that's no shade to AEW because I don't even watch WWE.
Right.
I don't really watch cable television anymore.
No, that's fair.
I'm far too lazy. So no, I really don't have anything on that one.
Nothing on All Out. All right.
Nothing on All Out. Was there
all right.
Royale, Matt? Hold on.
I'm talking about the pay-per-view with CM Punk, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson. They all debuted that same pay-per-view. Ruby Soho was on the show. Like it was a pay-per-view. It wasn't on cable. It was like their last major pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, because I'm not buying a goddamn pay-per-view.
You were probably wrestling that night anyway.
What night was that?
It was some Saturday night. Like
it was a Sunday.
Oh, was it a Sunday? Yeah, it was a Sunday night. I
probably wasn't wrestling, but I'm not buying
2 months ago. That's fair.
So one thing that I want to touch about on that Southern Underground Pro match you got coming up, I know you actually, that's another thing you kind of spoke into existence last time, is how you wanted to wrestle at SUP, but the last time you wrestled for him, there was no fans. So are you excited this time actually to be in front of fans at SUP and get to like feel that real deal Basement East energy?
Yeah, hell fucking yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just waiting for fans to go back.
The main thing I'm looking forward to is everybody getting hyped to my music. That's one thing I'm really excited about.
A massive pop.
Yeah, the pop's gonna be huge. And then like from like the shows that I've seen on like YouTube or whatever, like everybody standing by the ring and everybody getting into it. Like I can't wait. I know that atmosphere is going to be electric.
Yeah, I'm always by the corner turnbuckle when you come by the entrance. I'm always right there in the fucking front. Those are the funnest, most fun you'll have at a wrestling show. Probably wrestling and as a fan, just because the
is that Saturday or Sunday? Is that Saturday?
Sunday afternoon, like Sunday, like 2:00.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna try to make that. I got to do that my whole real estate thing, but I'm gonna try to make that work.
I'm gonna be there for sure. And I'm gonna have my Alex Kane T-shirt on.
Yeah.
So we did talk about GCW last week. Is GCW another one of those companies that you were is it part of the forbidden door that you are not allowed to cross these days? Okay,
Yes.
all right, okay. Well,
So is there like a level to the indies? If they're like a Fight TV streaming indie, like no, but like if they're
no, I mean I think there's some like as long as it's not like because I feel like GCW is almost like national television almost.
yeah,
So if it's like a national television product, then no.
Right.
But if it's like just like I can still do IWTV. Like I can probably still do some shows on Fight and other networks. But if it's like national TV, no.
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense. So how do you feel about the pairing with Vice? I mean, do you watch Dark Side of the Ring?
I've watched a few. I've definitely watched a few. What was the last one that I watched? The last one I watched was the Chris Canyon one. That shit made me sad.
Yeah,
but then it also I was like, I didn't know Chris Canyon was this dope. Like, I didn't know he was like way ahead of his time and shit. So that was cool. The partnership with Vice is gonna be dope. I just can't wait till like I get one of those specials like Hammerstone and Vol.2 did or whatever. It's like, yeah, bitch, Alex Kane on Vice TV.
Fuck yeah, that'd be so sick.
Yeah, I would love to see that, man. I'm excited about it. I'm excited. So what do you guys have? What do you have coming up like on the docket? We got something this weekend for sure. What do we have in the very near future for Alex Kane?
Yeah, I've got PCW Ultra Friday. I've got SUP on Sunday. I've got MLW November 6th. Let me see. I have to look at my calendar.
So when you do an MLW show, are you doing multiple tapings in one sitting?
Yeah.
Is it, okay. How many tapings do you usually do in one show?
The most that we've done is 2.
Oh, okay.
Like well, not 2. We'll do 2 tapings. Like if there's like when we did the Battle Riot or whatever, it was the Battle Riot and Fusion. So it's a few weeks of Fusion and then the Battle Riot.
So sort of like when we go to the Impact tapings, like they'll tape a special, then like a few
2
weeks
days,
of TV.
but it's like 4 shows or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Something like that.
Do they shoot everything in like storyline order, or things kind of like broken up so that way not everything ends up on the dirt sheets essentially? That's what Impact does. Impact will break. Like we live in Nashville, obviously, so we go to these Impact tapings, and it's like they'll literally I mean, I remember we went and saw a Bound for Glory match like a month ago, and they'll just change the one apron for one match, and then all of a sudden it's like before the Impact, and then it's like Impact, whatever their normal TV show. It's like they're all over the place.
Yeah, and then it'll randomly switch to like a special, like a Fight TV special. They'll like do a match for. It's really really random, but keep you on your toes.
More tenuous than that, or is it like do they try to break it up to keep it from being reported on essentially?
Nah, they would just run it like an actual show, because it's live. So it'd be kind of weird to try to shoot it in a strange way. So they just shoot it like it's a whole show. They just have it set up on the card how they need it.
Gotcha.
But I mean, there hasn't been too many things that have gotten out. But even if something does get out, I don't think they acknowledge it. So
that's cool.
Because they're constantly always promoting stuff. So
right. I mean, and that might be a little too nitpicky for the more common fan, but I mean, to be honest, dude, we're a pretty niche pro wrestling podcast, so all the little grimy details is the shit marks like us just like to hear about. So we appreciate you answering those questions. Wex, what else you got for him, man?
I mean, we pretty much you've covered a lot of stuff that I was gonna say. I got another one for you. I know the last podcast we did, you told us your favorite match at that point in your career. So since our last podcast in this past year, what has been your favorite match?
What was my favorite match last time?
Last time?
What was it last time?
It wasn't an MLW match. I know that.
My favorite match since then was my match with Joe Black at AWE.
Oh, nice.
That shit was a lot of fun. Well, I put a match with Joe Black or a match with Tim. what is it? Timmy Lou Redden.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I wrestled him at Viral Pro. So either one of those two matches.
Okay, all right. Well, everybody, if you're listening
Did you
to this,
get
go
the-
check
and did
those
you get that
matches
match
out.
with
I'm sure
O'Shea?
they're on IWTV.
Did you get that match
Huh?
with O'Shea? That you would like? That was one of the guys that you had like really wanted to work when you last time.
I wrestled him at Action.
Love it. I love it. Okay, dude. So let me ask you one more question here. All right. So for Alex Kane, MLW this year, a year from now, right? Like this is your second time on the show. Let's give you another year. Where do you want to be a year from now? You're pretty good at speaking your own future into existence. So let's hear it, man. Like let's shoot for the moon. Where do you want to be a year from now?
National Openweight Champion, gunning for the MLW Heavyweight Championship.
Ooh.
That's where I want to be.
I love it. I love that idea.
You have a pretty solid track record at predicting stuff, so I'm just saying I think it's a good chance it'll happen. Pretty good, solid chance.
Pretty solid chance, man. Where can people find you? Where's your socials? Where can people book you if there are some indies out there that aren't doing national TV? Thank you very much. Now that he's exclusive to MLW.
My Twitter is Alex_Kane11. Instagram is the Suplex Assassin. My booking email is alexkanebookings@gmail.com. Don't find me on Facebook. It's I'm up to like 300 friend requests now.
Nobody's.
Just leave the only people I accept are like people that I know, and then other people are just like, eh. My merch is on ProWrestlingTees.com, but from what I've heard, I may have to get out for Pro Wrestling Tees.
No!
Kind of worried about that. There've been some
controversial signings by them, I guess.
Wait. All right, let me in. What happened? I don't know. What's going on with Pro Wrestling Tees?
From what I've heard, like they got like caught up in some like neo-Nazi shit. And like I don't know for sure. It's just what I've heard. And I really hope it's not true.
I really hope it's not true as well.
Because like normally I order my shirts on like the bulk order thing or whatever,
right.
But like for like the past few weeks it's been down. I'm trying to figure out why the fuck it's down. But
Weird.
With my friend telling me that, I was like, ooh, it's not good. It's not good.
I love it, man. Open weight going for the actual title in 1 year. I think that it's honestly, I think you might be underselling yourself. I think next year you might be looking for reign number 2 or 3 for the world title, in my opinion. I mean, you're just killing it.
Okay.
I think, dude, honestly too, what I noticed the most, to be completely honest with you, is how Court has been handling you, like publicly. His interviews, his media statements, he's publicly come out and said that Alex Kane is the guy that he's trying to get behind. That has to be a great feeling.
It's the greatest feeling on the planet.
Dude, I got to tell you that, like, we have been so hyped for you. We've been loving what you've been doing. We've been closely monitoring what's going on. Also, too, not to get, like, too personal here because this is a pro wrestling podcast, but, like, the things that you've been tweeting about, the let's say your standards and your morals and the things that you stand up for, I greatly appreciate, and I love I love the fact that you use your voice to speak up for things that you care about. I think that means a lot. I'm glad that you stand for something that I can find value in. I think that means a lot to pro wrestling fans in general and just people in general. More people with a voice should have a voice and stand up for the right thing, and I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, most def. I've done seminar. I did a seminar recently. And that the person that did the seminar was like, like only thing people care about is that you wrestle or whatever. Like if no one cares about your politics, nobody cares about your religion, no one cares about your views. And like I remember being a kid, like I genuinely gave a damn about what Triple H thought about like some politics or whatever.
Of
like
course.
what his worldview is. Like I care about like what Vince McMahon's worldview is. I think about what Tony Khan's worldview is. Like I care about other wrestlers' worldview. Like that's like when I meet wrestlers, even now or whatever, I always wonder like, could they be on this side? Could they be on that side? Like these are things that I think about. And like I hate.
Are they a babyface or are they a heel?
They face a heel. Like in real life, they face a heel. Like
right.
So like I don't think that I mean, there are people that like they don't want to hear about all that stuff, but I feel like if we as a society get to the point to where like talking about these things isn't so taboo and that it's commonplace, like I feel like society will actually get better. But
Yes, agreed.
we'll see.
Dude, and especially in pro wrestling, like I'm glad you have good positive vibes because and views because wrestling has kind of had like a negative stigma for years. Obviously, watching Dark Side of the Ring and just being even minorly around the business for like small amount of time. Like I know it's pretty rough. So I like people like you and other wrestlers who are trying to make a change and make things positive. Carry Awful, another good one too, is just right there. Like that kind of stuff. Like
speaking of, if I can speak for Crux, boy, you got to get on a show of theirs for sometime soon, man. I got to see I want to see a best 2 out of 3 falls, you versus Carry Awful. God, that would make me so happy.
That would be a wrestling match,
dude. It would be so good. It would be so good.
If I wrestle, the first person I wrestle from Crux is going to be Luther X. Before anybody, I need to wrestle Luther X.
And that would also
be it sounds like a challenge. It feels like that felt like a challenge, Lex. Is that
I've been trying to wrestle Luther X since like last year. Like we met at Pro South. We were in this Rumble thing or whatever. And we went off to a corner or whatever, and we started going at it and like we had chemistry. And I was like, we need to do this, but like I remember one place had it booked, but I think I ended up having like WWE extra shit to do. So they let me off to do that. Now that I think about it, I wish I would have did that show instead of the extra stuff.
Of course, 100%. I mean,
it's like, it's like $500, but it's also like, this shit is it's boring. It really is boring.
It's extra work.
Yeah, it's extra. Like when you're first starting out, you're like, oh my god, I want to be an extra, But then it's like, when you really think about it, it's like, either I'm gonna sit here in catering all day or whatever. I mean, there's food, but it's also a little awkward because the superstars, I get why they're the way that they are, but like they don't have to be assholes. They can be like people, because like some of them are cool, but a lot of them are just like you almost get that vibe of like, I'm better than you. I'm like, not cool.
Yeah.
I mean, some of you are, but a lot of you aren't. So
yeah, dude, a long, many moons ago, almost 20 years ago, in 2004, I went to 3 different shows and did extra work for WWE. At the time, they paid $350 for the show. I got an invite to do the show, right? So I went. I'm way too skinny. Like y'all see me. I'm a skinny. Like I shouldn't have been in the ring in the first place. But my promoter recommended me. I went. I got paid. I sat in catering the whole time. Like I literally just sat there. Didn't even get picked. So, but there was like 30 of us that got that. Like, and then they choose like maybe 6 dudes to be security. Like there's like 30 of us there getting paid. They're paying us. We're just chilling. And they only picked like 6 of us. And like I went to all 3 because at that point, after the first one, I was like, okay, cool. Well, like I mean, I'm going to end up making over $1,000 in 3 shows. Like, I'm going to go. Like, I mean, why would I not? Like, but at the same time, it was like, it's the early 2000s too. I understand it was a different time and a different society, but like, there was no one chill. Like, there was no one cool. They definitely say don't meet your heroes, but like, fuck, no one gives a shit. Like, Edge, dude, people loved, like, to give him props. That dude was the biggest piece of shit asshole to us, man. Like he was such a dickhead to us, like just straight up, like I don't like for no reason too. And granted, like he's a heel on TV, and maybe he really was just trying to like play that up. It was 20 years ago. Maybe he was just trying to feed that heel shit. But like, why? Like I don't know. I know exactly what you mean, dude.
The only person, like the only 2 people, no 3 that were actually like decent human beings was Randy Orton, who literally came in like a tank top, shorts, and flip flop, and he dapped us up. Titus O'Neil and Bobby Lashley. Those are the only 3 people that really like, spoke to any of us or like tried to like make us feel like any kind of comfortable. Everybody else is just a dick.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they definitely made you feel lesser than. It was a different time. I totally know what you mean, man. But like, dude, I would have. Yeah, you and Luther, dude, that I feel like that would be insane. Maybe it's just because I got a soft spot for Carrie, but I think that you and Carrie could have a fantastic like match. I think the story would be insane.
Have Alex Kane run through the entire Crux roster.
I would love it, man.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely could. I think Yeah, no, yeah, definitely could.
No shade to my Crux boys, but I think that'd be some good business in my opinion.
For sure. It's good. It's good for everybody all around. But yeah, dude, you know what? I think that's gonna do it for us for this interview. Alex, you're amazing. We love you.
Thank you.
If we can have you on annually, I would absolutely love to do it. As long
We
as
can-
Court
we can
Bauer
probably
says
work
that
that out.
we can make that work, I'd be down to make it happen. Wex, what do we have coming up for our AEW predictions? This is the part of the show where we pick the matches, and even though you don't watch it, actually it's probably better. I would love to hear your predictions just based on not watching the show at all, who you think would win these matches. I think that'd be kind of funny.
All right, so one match. It's the first match in the World Title Eliminator Tournament: Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs, and a
Hobbs.
rematch of Hobbs' first match when he jobbed out to Orange Cassidy when he first debuted. So.
Oh yeah, Hobbs is definitely gonna whoop his ass next.
Yeah,
Really? I'm going Orange Cassidy. I'm
going Hobbs just because.
Obviously, if we're talking about like a legit fight, then yes, absolutely, it's Hobbs every day, all day.
I'm not even thinking about legit fight or whatever. I'm thinking of like the long term story that's being told.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
If Hobbs comes in and gets beat by Orange Cassidy over and puts Orange Cassidy over, then there's a thing in wrestling where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do you this favor, you do me this favor later.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be Hobbs going over it or whatever. If they ain't trying to build Hobbs as a main event player, they are.
No,
they're doing a disservice to everyone.
I agree.
Everyone.
I like it. I'm still gonna stick with my pick. I'm still gonna say Orange Cassidy. But what else we got on the docket?
And the other match that's on there is Anna Jay versus Britt Baker. It's not a title match or anything, just Anna Jay versus Dr. Britt Baker in a singles match.
And non-title. It's non-title?
Pretty sure it's non-title.
Mm-hmm. See, I feel like when they do those non-title matches, it's just a way for them to get the challenger a win. Most of the time. So I'm going to go Anna Jay, actually. I think I'm going to go Anna Jay on that to make her a viable contender. I think that makes sense booking-wise.
I think Anna Jay, but I think it's gonna be some shit with the Dark Order. Like Dark Order,
for sure.
In some way, shape, or form. So it's not like a clean win.
I think the Super Click gets involved as well.
I'm going Baker. Britt Baker.
Well, I don't think Britt Baker don't need the win.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly how I feel about it.
She needs to put over Anna Jay.
Yeah, I gotta remember watching AEW and not WWE and actually book logical stories. So
yeah, but at the same time,
I'm still gonna go Britt Baker because I gotta have a different pick.
Well, what about a DQ though? I mean, DQ still builds it, and they don't overuse the DQ. This is not WWE. They don't use it very often. When they do use it, it generally makes more sense. Maybe they could be building to like a big multi-team match because we do have a pay-per-view coming up and none of these guys have a way to get on the show, and it makes more sense to have maybe we have 3 guys from the Dark Order versus the Super Click and Anna Jay and Britt Baker. We have 8-man mixed kind of tag team match. I feel like that'd be pretty dope too. It's a good way to get 8 guys on the show without having to have a whole new storyline.
Well, I'm still going to stick with Britt Baker because I want to stick to my gun, stick my pick. All right, and the only other match that's advertised because they're also going to reveal the bracket for the women, the TBS championship. So I guess that's going to take a little time. But the other match,
Jade Cargill's going to win the TBS championship.
100%, zero doubt.
I think that's a right move.
And she should, yes.
Yeah. But this next match, Pac versus Andrade Part 2.
Who won the last time?
Andrade won, but with interference.
It's Pac. Pac's winning, no doubt. They're doing this series thing. They're gonna do best out of 3. They're gonna do a rubber. Pac's definitely winning. 100%
I say
winning.
that Andrade wins.
Andrade will probably win, and then they'll do a rubber match.
I don't know. I think he wins, but there's no rubber match. Then Andrade's up by 2.
Yeah, because
Andrade won both times.
No, Andrade already won the first time. This is part 2. That's why I'm saying Pac.
Pac's probably gonna win. I heard you wrong.
The reason I think that Andrade will win, though, is because the last time he won because Chavo Guerrero interfered, and he didn't want him to interfere, so he beat him up afterwards, and he wants to prove that he can win it clean. And I don't know, I just see it happening because he hasn't really won very many matches.
He beat up Chavo Guerrero. Chavo Guerrero's pissed gonna come and clap Andrade's ass, and Pac gonna win. What you mean?
I heard Chavo went away to go film some episodes of whatever show.
Man, nah, the flights private flights move pretty
And
quick.
the Lucha, and he just cost the Lucha Bros their AAA Tag Team Championships on Wednesday. So they'll probably get involved too, because the Death Triangle is still a faction, even though, they're not always, they still got that faction.
All right, not to get off on a tangent here. We got some time. It was a relatively short show. I gotta say this. This is the one thing I like AEW putting like kind of people in little areas. They're not necessarily factions, but it's like Christian kind of hangs out with the Jurassic Express, and like they're all kind of in their cliques, and that makes sense to me because that's the way real life is. People kind of hang out with their people. It is the way it is. Like it's not just like, oh, there's just all baby faces, just all heels. And some people bitch and they're like, oh, there's too many factions in pro wrestling, dude. Like this is legit. Like if you go to a backstage even on the indies, like you're gonna find dudes that are friends. Like even if they're working together or not, like you're gonna find 4, 5, 6 guys that kind of hang out together, and then you'll find little pods. And it's not like there's heat with anybody else. It's just like you find the guys you relate with the most, and you hang out with those dudes. Like, and so I appreciate that in AEW. But here's where I draw the line. If you put them on screen in a faction and you make it like this group is solid, we're a solid thing, and then you have a tag team get their ass beat and left laying by 6 guys, and none of the other guys come and help them, you immediately devalue what you put on television as a solid group to me. Like that is honestly my biggest issue with AEW.
They fixed it though. They fixed it. Because you're talking about the inner circle, and I guess they heard you talking. They listened to our podcast, and they changed it.
I know. I mean, you know what? You're right. You're right, Wex. You're right. I'm glad they're here now. Just keep heeding my advice, and you'll be okay. All right. We all know that I know what's best for business, and I'm just trying to take us into the next level. Right. We're just all trying to put Vinnie Mac to bed. Speaking of going to bed, you can find me at Daniel Daybreak. You can find the show at KayfabeCom, except on TikTok. It's at KayfabeCom Pod. And next,
I fucked up.
That's right, because Wex fucked up. I was gonna leave that out because we had a nice guest here, Wex, but granted,
you can find me on TikTok too. I'm on TikTok at the Suplex Assassin 1.
Love it. I watch a lot of Alex Kane on TikTok. Got some good stuff there.
I did. Yeah, be sure to follow us all on the TikTok. We all have a good time there. We're having a good time. Thank you so much, Alex Kane, for being here for sure.
Thank you for having me.
Next week is going to be Impact Bound for Glory 2021 versus Halloween Havoc from 1996. That's going to be insane. Pretty sure we got Juventud Guerrero versus Eddie Guerrero on that show. We also have Chris Jericho versus William Regal on that show. I guess he was Steve Regal at the time for the television championship.
Not the Duchess Queensberry match.
No, not the Duchess Queensberry. No, this was a totally different match, but I'm super hyped for it. Impact Bound for the Glory has got a ton of really good shit. Impact is, honestly, I feel like all of the smaller wrestling companies are all on the come up right now. I feel like Impact's doing really well. I feel like MLW is doing really well. GCW is killing it. I'm super hyped to see where that goes. Wex, how you feel about Bound for Glory next week going up against the classic Attitude Era Halloween Havoc?
Well, I mean, I've been keeping up with Impact lately, and I've been going to the tapings. Pretty exciting. I mean, we're going to get to see Josh Alexander go for the world title, which I'm kind of thinking he's going to win because they're going to have to need a way to get Christian off of Impact for a while and then back onto AEW more full time. So I can see Josh Alexander. So you could be facing a world champion here soon, Alex Kane.
Yeah, I could be.
He could be defeating a world champion here soon.
Exactly. Yes. Suplexing a world champion here soon.
I mean, yeah. Regardless of what happens, the point is suplex him, regardless if he's world champion or not.
I love it. And then 2 weeks out, we got Survivor Series 2001, the height of the Attitude Era, going up against NXT 2.0, excuse me, their version of Halloween Havoc, whatever that's going to be. I'm pretty excited about the next 2 weeks. I think we got a lot of new current content going up against some old classic stuff. And we're definitely going to keep this indie spotlight thing going for sure too. Got some other guys that we definitely want to be on here too. I have been in talks with a guy named Calvin Tankman, who was just on a GCW show. Hopefully getting him on here. That dude has been a sweetheart of a guy.
A fucking monster, Lord Jesus Christ.
What a sweetheart of a dude though, right?
Yeah, he's really, really fucking nice, but man is a monster. And I do
an absolute beast.
He has given me like so much fucking confidence though. Cause like sometimes I'm like, man, like I don't look like the prototypical like power guy or whatever, as far as like being like lean and stuff. And then I look at Calvin, I'm like, this man is bigger than me, belly and all, runs around whooping people's asses and
so agile, like so
agile and shit. Another guy, Hoodfoot, same way. You don't care, and don't nobody else care either.
Gives a damn, bro. If you can move and you can work, we don't care, bro. And both those guys can go. So I'm hype, man. I'm hype about what we got going on the show, dude. Alex Kane, any last words? Any parting words for the crowd here?
Go to the Bald Monkeys Pod. Sorry, but they have merchandise and it has my face on it. Go buy the damn merchandise.
I love it. I'm into it. That's gonna do it for us this week. We'll see you guys next week. We're out. Peace.